Your SSD actually slows down the more you fill it up. SSDs write data in 4 kilobyte pages inside 256 kilobyte blocks. When your drive is empty, it finds an empty block and writes data instantly. SSDs can only erase at the block level, not the page level, and they can't overwrite data directly like a hard drive can. When you delete a file, your operating system doesn't actually erase it from the SSD. It just marks those pages as invalid and says this space is available now. But the data is still sitting there taking up space in the block. So when your SSD needs to write new data and the only available blocks have a mix of valid and invalid pages, it has to do extra work. It copies the valid pages to another block, erases the entire original block, and then writes the new data. This is called garbage collection, apparently. On an empty drive with tons of free blocks, this happens in the background when you're not using it, and on a full drive with no empty blocks, this happens every single time you write new data. Your SSD is constantly shuffling data around just to make room. This is called write amplification. You ask the SSD to write 1 megabyte, but it actually has to write 2 or 3 megabytes because of all the copying and erasing. That's why manufacturers actually recommend keeping at least 20 to 25% of your SSD free. Many drives actually hide about 7% of their capacity just to make sure there's always spare blocks available for this process. If you fill your SSD past 75 to 80% capacity, your write speeds can drop dramatically. The speeds can come down closer to hard drive speeds in extreme cases. Modern SSDs have trim support, which helps the operating system tell the drive, hey, this data was deleted and you can actually erase it now, so garbage collection can run more efficiently during idle time. But still, it's best to keep your SSD under 75% full if you want consistent performance.